All right, a few words about jury selection. Basically, at this point, once you've gone through all the efforts to settle the case and you're looking at going to trial, you're going to reach a point where all those poor people that have been summoned for jury duty will start to be broken up into lots and they will be sent to your courtroom. Once in your courtroom, there'll be juror questionnaires that they'll have filled out. The attorneys will look at those very closely, and eventually, depending on the judge, you will start a process of asking questions to the jurors. In Pennsylvania State Court, generally the attorneys ask these questions. In federal court, in my experience, usually the judges will ask the questions. So if the judge is going to ask the questions, you need to submit proposed jury questions. But basically, if you think there's a particular issue in the case that you want to be addressed, that's where you'll ask for those things. This part of the case is also called VOIR space DIRE, voir dire. And basically, it's that point where you're going to try and see if you can get a sense of who these jurors are. Picking a jury is a little bit like a situation where you have to find a group of people that might like you or be disposed toward you. So you might say, well, how do you do that? And I'm going to say back to you, I don't know, how do you do it? How do you think you like people when you meet them? How do you think if you had to tell them a story where you were hoping they were going to be sympathetic, that they might be sympathetic? Hard to tell. It's basically, sometimes it's just a vibe or feel. Sometimes there may be things that give things away about people. I have a mustache. Some people might think that that would suggest someone that's a little bit counterculture. You know how people have I don't have one, but if some people had a long ponytail, a male say, sometimes people would suggest that means counterculture. I have a hat that's some sort of aircraft maintenance hat, so maybe people would think I'm a friend of the working man. I'm 19 years old. I'm older, as you can tell. So maybe that might be favorable to your case. There's a lot of that goes on. Sometimes your client or you may have a particular feeling about somebody right off the bat, like, they don't seem like they like me or anybody in the world. Maybe that isn't a person you'd want on your jury. But in any event, once the questioning starts, eventually jurors will be called, usually using the jury box. In a civil case, we'll use juries of 6 people. Usually you'll pick 8. Somebody's going to say, Freeman, why 8? Well, you pick 8 because once the case has finally reached the end where the jury's going to have to deliberate, then you're going to have 2 people who are alternates, and they're going to not participate in the deliberation, but they're going to hang around so that if one of the jurors becomes ill, one of the jurors, can't finish somehow, you'll have these extra people that can fill in, and you won't lose that trial time. Basically, you have challenges to the jurors. That means that if a juror gets up there and you realize, I really don't like them, you have, in Pennsylvania, you have 4 peremptory challenges. Let's see if I can't make this 1, 2, 3. It's like a kid's card game, everybody. I'm trying to do this all. Okay, here's my 4. So if I decide that one of the jurors isn't one that I like, the sergeant at arms will pass me the jury sheet of the people that are in the box, and I will use one of my peremptory challenges. It's like a kid's card game. Now I only have 3 left. This is pretty shoddy work, by the way, everybody. But anyway, I'll have 3 left. The other side will get to choose someone. They'll bump someone off, and each time they'll bump someone off the jury, a new person will be picked to fill that person's place. Everybody that I know that really tries cases will usually have a little diagram, which I've tried to create for you. A little diagram like this. See these boxes? These boxes all contain numbers. Those are the numbers of the jurors. So if I just used my peremptory, PEREMPTORY challenge to get rid of juror number 4, on my little sheet, I will cross out juror number 4, and we will move on, and they'll pick another person at random and take number 4's spot, and we'll start all over again with them. Remembering now that I still only have 3 challenges left. We work our way through that until I've used all of my challenges. Second one, third one, fourth one, and I don't have any left. Once in a while, you'll have a juror who you can ask to be removed from the panel, but you'd ask not with your peremptory challenges, but with what's known as a challenge for cause. And a challenge for cause means that you don't have to use your peremptories because it's so obvious that this person shouldn't be on the jury that the judge will excuse them without making you use your choice. An example might be if someone indicated, let's say the case is about police brutality, and someone indicates that they've been a victim of police brutality. Pretty likely that the, the judge isn't going to make you use your challenge for that, so they'd bump them off. That particular type of challenge is one where you'll ask to approach the attorneys will ask to approach the bench, and they'll say, Your Honor, I'd like you to excuse juror number 8 for cause. I think that, and you'll do that, and the court will listen, and if they grant it, fine. If they don't, then you're going to have to use a peremptory for that person. Once you're all done, then that's going to be your jury, everybody, and the case will proceed from there. A critical portion of a case, and one which in real expensive cases you'll actually have jury consultants that would be psychologists, psychiatrists, people that might make a living trying to give you information about the particular jurors. Oftentimes at the beginning when the jurors get into the courtroom, you may only know where they live, their part of town, and you may know their occupation. Otherwise you may not know anything about them. In particularly important and expensive cases, sometimes people will have private investigators try and find things out about people since they feel like that might give them an